Hey everyone, welcome back to the Playlist Push YouTube channel. It's great to be back. We're here with another amazing video, really hot topic, something that's super important. Doesn't matter what level you're at as an artist, how to find playlist curators. At Playlist Push, and when I first started Playlist Push, this was literally the only thing I did. I was just hunting down curators. Even when we first started, people would actually pay for a campaign. I would listen to the song and I would go track down those curators and try to find those people and send them that music and try to get that feedback from those curators. So we're gonna dive into it today. We're gonna give you all the tactics I've used. Things have changed a lot since then. Obviously we started Playlist Push years ago, but we're gonna give you some tools and we're gonna let you basically cook on your own and figure this stuff out. This doesn't cost any money, but it's very time consuming. We're gonna give you some hacks just to make it easier for you to basically track these people down, figure out who they are, and how to send them a nice message, all of that stuff. So let's get right into it. Number one is you wanna be organized when you do this. You don't just wanna go to Spotify, start searching for lists and just start mass messaging people. You wanna be organized about it. You're gonna wanna use at least something like a Google Sheet. There's other software programs you can use to track your progress. We're actually gonna link you guys to a Google Sheet that we use when we recruit, so you guys can keep track of these people. And I would say the most important part is to actually follow up. I'm sure they get tons of these messages, but actually following up with them and being persistent is how you can actually end up getting in front of these people and hopefully getting a spot on their playlist. So that's really what's going to separate you from everyone else that's doing this. So yeah, we're going to link to that sheet down below. That's going to make it super easy for you to track your progress and make sure you follow up. The next part is there's specific tools you're going to want to use to figure out these playlists are even good. So basically you're going to spend some time searching, finding these playlists, but then you're going to want to run them through a filter and make sure they have legitimate listeners, that the followers are real. You don't want low value streams, right? You want a bunch of streams just coming from or people running bot farms or stuff like that. You want those premium streams coming from those Scandinavian countries, European countries, and North America, right? So that's what we're after. That's what most artists are after that are watching this video. So one of those super useful tools is something called Chartmetric, chartmetric.com. We're gonna link to Chartmetric down below. And this is a great way where you can actually see when a playlist was created and see their follower growth. So that's going to be a very telling sign of if the playlist is legit or if someone's doing something nefarious to grow that playlist. So we're going to run everything through Chartmetric to make sure the playlist is legit before we even bother reaching out to them. When you're reaching out to these playlists, everyone is going to want to go for these playlists that have 100,000 followers, these huge playlists. When in reality, you want to start with the low-hanging fruit and the playlist that's smaller and more niche to your music. Why? Because those bigger playlists, those people are getting bombarded with messages. Who knows how those people are running their business behind that playlist? Some playlists, they actually own all of the music that's on their playlist. And I'm going to show you guys an example really quick. I was searching for workout playlists the other day and I found this account called Tabata Songs. So as you can see on this playlist, all of these songs are like covers that are basically owned by this brand. Right, so you don't want to be on that playlist. They've got a whole music production system behind their playlist and how they're gaining streams. They don't have any time for you, and you don't want to waste your time going after that playlist. You want to look for real people, and you want to look for profiles that actually have an image. Even if you put in a keyword into Spotify, let's say you put in modern rock, scroll down a ways, find those smaller playlists that have images, that have a real person behind it, because the great thing about those playlists is those playlists are starting to grow. So you want to catch the playlist before it has 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers. You want to catch it when it has 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or even less. You want to start small, stick in those niche playlists because those are playlists that are small but growing, but you can actually contact. Okay guys, the next piece, and this is where most people really, they fumble the bag, they fumble the streams, they fumble the monthly listeners, is to have a solid message. Have a solid reach out message. In that Google Sheet, we'll actually include a reach out message that you guys can use, but you do want to change some things in that message. So you don't just want to say, hey, I saw you have a playlist on Spotify, I really love it. Check out my music. There's different ways you want to get people's attention, and you never want to just come straight out with like, oh, hey, I love your playlist, I'm an artist. You want to try to build a relationship with this person so that you not only get whatever song you're trying to promote now on their playlist, but as you have songs coming out in the future, you can actually go back to this person because you have a relationship with them. So that's the most important part. Like, everyone is doing these like AI, spam, bot-driven messages. That doesn't resonate with anyone. So we're gonna give you guys a solid reach out message, and it's probably gonna take some back and forth before you establish a relationship with this person and they actually even listen to your music. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, how do we do it? How do we find these people? How do we get into it? You're gonna search for a playlist on Spotify using a keyword. So this keyword is gonna be something that's specific to your playlist. The more niche you can be, the better. If you just search for rock, that's super broad. That's gonna include these playlists that have classic rock from the 60s, 70s, 80s. That's not really what you're looking after. So go with a keyword that's super, super niche and something that really resonates with your music. And then you're gonna click on the playlist tab, and you're just gonna scroll down on Spotify, and you're just gonna keep searching for different playlists that you think are interesting to you, just based on the artwork and the name of the playlist. You're gonna then click on that playlist, see how many followers it has, click on the account, and see if you can even find that person, right? Like I said, some of these things are brands. Some of these profile names are named something like XYZ123. You know, it's not an actual person behind it. We wanna look for real people, and we wanna look for people that have images. That's gonna be the most important thing. So you're gonna copy that playlist, run it through Chartmetric, put it in your Google Sheet, and then get ready to reach out to these people. That's gonna be the move, is to stack these up in that sheet and get organized and get ready to actually find these people and get ready to message them. On to the next piece. How do you find these people? Obviously, you can take the user profile name and just Google search. Depending on how common their name is, like if their name is like Bob Smith, then good luck. You're probably never gonna find that person because there's millions of Bob Smiths out there, right? But there is some different ways you can actually track these people down. One is reverse image search. So you can basically screenshot their profile picture on Spotify, Google reverse image search, and then you could upload that photo. And what you wanna do is you wanna take a big picture. You wanna make sure you get the entire circle, but you can actually refine it when you're in Google image search, and you can make the frame tighter. If you get nothing based on that bigger picture, you can zoom in just on the person's face, and doing that, I've actually found a lot of playlists and been able to track people down. It's either gonna pull up their LinkedIn profile, it's gonna pull up their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. It's gonna find that picture, and you actually be able to reach out to that person. So another way to find people on Spotify, just not by doing the keyword search. Let's say you're not super creative, you're not really sure where your music fits in, but you know what artists you're similar to. You can search for these artists on Spotify on your laptop or on desktop, and then go to their Discover and On section, and you'll see a bunch of playlists that they're actually gaining streams from. People are discovering their music from those playlists, and then do the same thing. Obviously, the further down they are, the less listeners they're getting from that list, but that list still has activity coming from it. So depending on the artist, it could be getting 10 monthly listeners, could be getting 10,000. So use that Discovered On section on different artists, smaller artists, just artists you think you're similar to. You're gonna wanna focus on smaller artists because they're gonna have more user-generated playlists they're being added to versus a huge pop star. They're just gonna have all official Spotify playlists underneath there. To close things out, basically over the years, a lot of things have changed at Spotify, and this is kind of the way to get the ball rolling, is to get added to these user-generated playlists. Because editors and Spotify, they're very cloak and dagger, and they don't really exist unless you're in the major label ecosystem. There's about 100 or 80,000 songs that get uploaded to Spotify each day, so it's just not physically possible for an actual person to listen to all those songs. So that's something to keep in mind. This is a good way to get the ball rolling, to get added to radio features. This can kind of ignite the algorithm depending on people listening to your song repeatedly on these lists. So this is a great way to start, and obviously, if you guys have any questions, or if you just want to use Playlist Push instead, and we'll do this for you. We have thousands of vetted playlists on our own. We can do that too. So drop a comment if you have any questions, and thanks for tuning in.